it just sunk in that I'm about to hear my first review of Cold Embrace, and now I'm like, fuck my life.
It's okay. It's only by one of your close friends regarding this film, so I'm sure it's not a
I know,
pressure at all.
right? And it's only by probably the only friend that will be as knowledgeable of monster movies as I am.
Who can take you to task on anything that you did or did not put in here.
Exactly, exactly.
Might I just start off? You've made three so far. You've made Anxiety's Moon, you've made Unseen Obsession, and now Cold Embrace. I'm just going
Yeah.
to start outright before we get to positives or negatives. This is my favorite Emerald Quill Studios movie so far. It is the best one
Okay.
you've done.
Okay.
You've done the most in this one, and that's in no short part the fact that it's the longer runtime. I want to talk about that a little later, but
Yeah.
this is the best one. And before you start talking, I just want to say that I really do feel like you took a look at your previous movies and figured out what worked and what didn't and legitimately improved on yourself as a filmmaker. So, excellent fucking job in that regard. So, thank you for that.
Oh my god, thank you. That wow. Whew. I never know how to respond to praise like that except to thank you. I'm so happy that that to hear you say that. You know, it's so funny because a lot of people when Unseen Obsession came out, a lot of people would like tell me they're like, "Hey, I know Wolfman's your favorite. I'm so sorry, but I love Unseen Obsession more." And I'd always say, I don't understand why I'd ever take offense to that. It's the second film. I would hope that it's better.
Exactly. You always want to hope you improve, obviously.
Exactly. I always do it subconsciously. I don't know. I don't know about you when like you write and stuff. If like there's things that you set up or create and stuff when you're making like a book or you're writing and stuff that
Yeah,
just like subconsciously you improve, but you don't really like think about it.
a lot of writers and directors will say that it's a muscle, right? If you work out every day, it'll get stronger, and if you stop
Exactly.
treating it with proper care, if you stop eating right, if you stop exercising, then your muscle's going to atrophy, and then it's going to be really bad at lifting things. And writing and being
Yeah.
creative is the exact same philosophy. You literally, if your first movie was Cold Embrace, I believe wholeheartedly it would not have been this good, but
Oh yeah.
you
No, not at
you
all.
have the experience of what you've done and you've applied that knowledge and it pays off here. So
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because there's a lot of concepts and stuff in here that have just not only developed from the monster films, but just from short films I've made in the past and in college and stuff like that. There was a lot of different things that like I improved on just on a technical level that I'd been working through
hmm
since college, which was really cool.
I also do want to say
But
that you
yeah.
sent me the script for this. God, what, like a year ago
I
now?
did. I
Longer? I don't
did.
even know
Yeah,
anymore.
that was version 1 of the script
Version one.
actually.
And my criticism of that is like, A, it felt like the movie Renfield, except more serious. And B,
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't really do much new with that premise. And when I gave you those
Mm,
criticisms, because I finally got around to reading that, you had already messaged me, oh, I've already since changed it quite a bit. It's now in a much different form. And I never
yeah.
read that completed script, but I now have seen this film. And it does, you're absolutely right. It's paid off.
When I did send you it, I had my storyboard artist Cicada read it, or Cicada, Garrett and Mikey, and so they were all reading it and they all had notes and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like this or this change," and they were all so wildly different. And I was like, "Well, Jake has written a whole book, you know, he really loves Dracula and stuff, so let me see what he thinks." Um, but by that point, by the time you got back to me, we had already like I had already kept improving. I was like, okay, well, let me do this. Let me do this changes like that. But luckily, everything you said that like you're like maybe this and that, I was like, oh, okay, great. That already got swapped up and stuff like that.
This is your third film now, and I'm sensing a theme,
Yeah,
which is that there's a main character who is obsessed with the classic Universal monster, and they slowly start to become them. So was that like intentional on your part?
it was,
Okay.
and it was incredibly intentional with Draco actually. My whole idea was that I was like, well, what do I do? How do I? Because vampires, every single vampire has been done under the sun. What like you know, you can go any route, any direction, and you'll find a book, a movie, a TV show, anything. It's all been done, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because he's been around so that long. So I was like, well, what do I do to make it unique? And the thing that I thought of was well, let's make a character who's not trying to be unique. Let's make a character who is obsessed, who's a foil to Lance. He's obsessed with Dracula as much as Lance was obsessed with the Wolfman, but he wants to become that. I wanted to pull every toxic trait of fandom and stuff like that and throw it into one character and just really make this guy who just essentially wants to make his own movie but in real life and
Right.
that kind of thing.
Exactly. And I totally understand that. And
And
it's funny, if this had been my first Emerald Quill movie, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. But now that it's the third, I'm like, that's the overarching message there. That's the story. It's pretty
exactly,
cool.
exactly. And I also want to do Renfield because I had only ever seen the very first Dracula movie like probably like maybe a few years ago. And I just remember I loved Renfield so much in that. And then the Renfield movie came out, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then it was a bad comedy. I was like, fuck my life, man. And so I,
I have to butt in and just defend Renfield. I think it's fine. Although I will admit that my preferred tone is closer in style to Cold Embrace, obviously.
thank you, thank you. This was not made with as much spite as Unseen Obsession was. This was not a I can do a better Invisible Man movie. It just so happened that I had always wanted to have this idea with like a Renfield type character and like mental gaslighting and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that they made a Renfield movie and I just didn't agree with anyway. And not to get too personal, but I went more into like a kind of like some self hatred parts, and I just kind
Mm-hmm.
of pulled them out and made it two characters and essentially that. So
A
um
fun way to sum this movie up is by calling it 1931's Dracula by way of The Lighthouse. And I definitely got those
mm,
vibes in there because the whole time
wow.
the gaslighting, the even like the some of the dialogue where it's like, how long has it been? 5 weeks, 3 days, help me to recollect. Like that exact like philosophy in there. Like I feel like scenes, I'm not gonna say you were inspired by them, but it reminded me a lot of the Robert Eggers movie. So was that like a conscious thing going in, or?
um Probably unconsciously I should have watched The Lighthouse again. I love The Lighthouse. I saw it once and I just absolutely adored it. It was great.
Well, I
So
can't even
yeah,
like knock you if it was intentional or not, because Chapter 5 of the Devil's League is absolutely inspired by the
that's
Lighthouse.
true. That
So,
is so true.
but yeah, continue.
But no, thank you. I mean, honestly, that's a huge compliment for me. Thank you. But yeah, that's really what it was. I was like, let me just make a psychological manipulation movie and just really go into the because I like it when I can really make use of the fact that a movie is a movie and just kind of break reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those scenes and stuff where we just like cut to the black and cut to the darkness and stuff like that. And I really like to utilize that. I love to be able to do that. So I really tried to be able to let myself do as much of that is because it's like, Dracula has all those powers. So let's kind of use some of those powers and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And speaking of doing as much as you could, I think by virtue of it being the longest you've made so far at like almost an hour, you have so much time to develop your characters, and I think that really does pay off here. Like I think and the other movies that you've made are good too. I give them all positive scores. I could tell you my scores at the end if you'd like, because you did take me
Yeah,
to task
sure.
on Devil's League. I feel like I owe you the same respect. But
Thank you.
I really do feel like you've done the most here. It's the biggest scale by miles than the other two. Invisible Man was like in a room, but also that was kind of after COVID, so I don't know if I blame you for that. This is like you went to a lot of different locations. You used them all in creative ways, and I don't know. I really enjoyed the just the sheer size of what you've done here.
Yeah, we never expected it to be 50 minutes. I never expected it to be 50 minutes. I can pull up the script right
Yeah, I
now
was about to
actually
ask, like, how many
because I
pages
want
is
I want
the newer version of the script that you used?
not counting the title page, 38 pages.
Damn, and you made it
And that's
53 minutes.
really and well, okay, actually no, it's 37 pages, but it's really 36 and like a quarter because the last page is like just like like a chunk long. I was like, yeah, this is probably just going to be like half an hour or something like that. But I think it's just the storyboards and everything like that. It became longer than I ever really expected it to be.
Sure.
And there was even times everyone was like, "No way, this is 50 minutes." I'm like, it's 50 minutes. I don't know what to tell you. And I always go by the philosophy that my movies are as long as they need to be.
Yes.
Which I'm sure at some point in the industry that'll fuck me over. But as it stands now, if I have full control of something, I just let it be as long as it needs to be. So if it's 50 minutes, it's 50
I
minutes.
so respect that. I have the exact same philosophy. Now, when I was pitching Devil's League to publishers before I went independent, I kind of knew that an editor, like a publisher's editor, would want to cut it down because it goes to
Yeah.
so many like side stories that are what they are. But when I made the decision to go independent, I was like, well, one of the main upsides is that I get 100% control and I get to release like the Zack Snyder's Justice League of books. Like it's every single possible shot that every detail is in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously you couldn't get a distributor if you wanted to because unless it was Universal and they decided, fuck it, this is crazy, let's do it. But this is the kind of thing where like you having full control is kind of what was best for the story that you wrote. And I feel like if someone else came in and like cut it down or changed it and made it more marketable, I don't think it'd have the same punch as what you gave it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little concerned because I want to shop this around to film festivals. I have an outside producer that's like she's looking into it for me, but she's like you're probably gonna want it shorter. So
I do have an opinion on that because did you have
sure, let me hear it.
You said you made like original music? Did you use any returning music from Universal or no?
No, there's none in this one.
Good, because when you uploaded the other two, you did use the Wolfman soundtrack. I don't know if you used Invisible Man soundtrack, but those videos are now claimed ownership to Universal. Not that they're like viral, like crazy videos or anything. That doesn't matter. But like, what I'm saying is like, if you did want to build out your Emerald Quill brand and like build up your channel and like let's say you gain a bigger audience, it would help if you made like whatever views and whatever like all the stuff from your video goes back to you because you created it and not to a different company.
Yeah.
And then you could do what you're talking about, where you could sell it to film festivals and stuff like that, because you can be like, it's 100% original, no ties to anything. It uses clips from a movie in transformative ways, which is all you really need to do. So you're totally fine.
It's true. Yeah, I'm planning on making a couple of make one that's just a 30-minute cut or something, just so that she has like options so that she can just do whatever. Because I'm like, well, at the end of the day, if it's just at a film festival and just to get exposure and stuff, I'll be happy. I mean,
sure,
the original's on YouTube. That's all I care about at the end of the day, as long as you can watch the full thing. I really did want to push myself on because I always try to improve better and better with each one.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I was like, I do want to have two characters. I want to tackle more characters. I want to tackle a few more locations and stuff. If I could, I'd have like a better set for Draco's place. But at the end of the day, you can only do so much. At the end of the day, I had to accost my mom's living room and transform it every time we shot. The biggest thing with having more people is that you have more people to schedule. And then that just becomes a nightmare. With Unseen Obsession, we were able to shoot maybe twice a week, but with this one, we could only shoot like once a week, which was really frustrating. But it was also just like the nature of it. And it's so funny because there are multiple locations, and thank you, I did try to use them all in creative ways, but most of the bulk is in that living room, and we were probably shooting in there for a good 5 months or something. I think it was only like the last month when we were finally doing other locations, and everyone was so tired of the damn living room by the end of it. Nathan, the guy who plays Draco, he was just like, I don't want to go in that living room again by the end of it. I was like, just one more night.
You sounded like Draco back to him when to talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny.
Which I don't even know why I said night, because a lot of that was actually surprisingly shot during the day. All of it we would cover, because my mom had she had 2 glass doors, and so we'd cover them with trash bags, and then we'd pull the curtains closed and stuff like that, and then you put the black and white filter and it looks even more like nighttime.
Right.
That was the hardest thing.
You did a great job emulating the look of 1931's Dracula, and again, I think that ties back to like as a filmmaker you've grown. In your first movie, Anxiety's Moon, which is a movie I do enjoy, I do not feel the same sense that it was mimicking the black and white film. I felt like it was just
Yeah.
camera saturation down to 0% film, you know? And I felt like it was
Yeah.
because like it's your first one, so it's whatever. But I feel like you've now looked at like, okay, this is the way the lighting would be to mimic this style, and this is the way to accentuate like the curves around his face, like the edge lighting. And I really do feel like you stepped it up, and you were like, this is going to be a movie that visually could totally just be plopped right into the 40s in the Universal canon,
Yeah.
and it totally paid
I
off.
always thank you. Yeah, no, I always try to make them emulate the 1940s and stuff. Well, I try to make it look like it could feel like it could fit in those films.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, I try to make a world where you don't question why someone just doesn't call on their cell phone for help or something like that. I
Right.
just try to make it where you can just get lost in it and like just accept that some old stuff is being through and stuff like that. And yeah, with this one, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was the biggest thing that I was like, I really, really, really want to improve on my set design with this one. It's so damn important that Draco's place where he's fucking with Ryan and everything has a look to it, has a style to it. And
Right.
we tried to do that with Unseen Obsession, but just with the nature and everything and like the what we could get available to us, it was just that. And I was never really happy with the background and stuff because it was always kind of changing if you ever watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to make it good, so I'm glad that I did. And again, Draco's a guy who's trying to recreate the film in real life, and so I wanted to show that. I wanted to be like, okay, this is a man or this is something. I wanted to try to tell just a little bit of a story with the living room in and of itself, even though I didn't have a lot available to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in terms of the lighting, yeah, it's so funny. In the last ones, Michael usually did a lot of the lighting, but he had a lot of things going on these past 6 months, so it was mostly me and Garrett who did a lot of the lighting, and even then it was mostly Garrett. I would just say I want like this or that, but in terms of what I'd want is I was huffing the Robert Edgers copium of Nosferatu. I saw that movie and I watched it about 10 times or something, like
Wow.
over the course of its theater runtime. I just kept going and seeing it and seeing it
AMC
and
A list,
seeing it.
baby.
Exactly. And I was enamored by the lighting and the candle work and the shots. I want his place filled with candles. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted that old candle aesthetic. Well, we had like we went through dozens of candles for the record. Like for a good while, it was like, do we need to pick up more candles? Yeah, pick up more candles.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd ask her like, and people would constantly ask what size candles are we using this time and that. And so we had those so many candles. So there's so many times where I was like, you know what? Let's light with the candles. Let's throw candles up, and like we'd have like a candle close by someone or a candle underneath just to get these kind of lighting and stuff. Because I wanted to recreate that visual that Robert Edgers gave you in Nosferatu of Count Orlok's place. I really, really was inspired by that, and so I just was like, let's throw that in and stuff like that. And that was a last minute change. If nothing else, if even nobody connects with the story or nobody connects with the characters or nobody even finds it just that amazing of a film, I wanted to be able to have anyone look at it and say, wow, this is visually stunning. I really wanted to just have this look amazing. And me and my storyboard artists, like, we really crushed it out with figuring out the shots and everything.
I've kind of given all or most of my notes that don't delve into more logistical criticism. So at this point in the video, if you're sold on the movie, just go watch it. It'll be out tomorrow. I'm just going to feature that trailer one more time right now. Check it out.
Spider spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is the life, Mr. Redfield.
Do you remember how many sessions we've had, Ryan?
After all the years we've been together.
What you need is therapy. You keep cycling through the same problems over and over.
You're going crazy, aren't you?
What was he like?
Mysterious, charming.
Please don't.
He seemed alone like me. I am Count Dracula.
What is the blood, Renfield?
The blood is the light. The blood is the life. 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 The blood is the life.
I am joined here by two of these stars, one of them the main star of Cold Embrace. We have Nathan and Crystal, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay,
Yep.
I didn't know if Crystal was a character, the actor. You just said it was Crystal, so I was like, oh, okay.
Miranda's her name.
But-
and the character's name is Miranda.
And then-
her name is Crystal.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so I got it right on accident. Good to hear. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
That's good. So I wanted to pick your guys' brains a little bit about Cold Embrace. I watched it yesterday. It is, and I do not exaggerate, it is my favorite Emerald Quill Studios movie he's made so far. I think it's the biggest scale. It's got the most going on. It's got the longest runtime to develop all these characters. And that is in no small part due to the wonderful actors who have portrayed your characters. So I just want to know, like, let's just start off here. Like, what was your reaction to, like, getting pitched this? Like, were you guys just in the same room, just smoking a bunch of weed? Like, yo, hey, I got this project. How did this come about?
Well, you were on it first. So.
So I actually had a mutual with Elijah, and he like DM'd me, and he was like, "Hey, you want to audition for this?" And I was like, "Sure." So I actually had my friend like read for me, and we were both auditioning, and I messaged Elijah, and he's like, "That guy sounds familiar. Like, did he audition for me?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, now I have to cast you both because like I hear both of your chemistry and everything like that."
Yeah, they
So-
did so good on each other because I could hear him. So he kind of got Aaron. He got a second audition almost, and that second audition when he read for her, it went so well. I was like, well, he's the one. He's got to be the one now.
And then
That's awesome.
I through UC Riverside's film club, the same Aaron, sent out a post on there, and I auditioned for everything that goes through Riverside period. So I was like, okay, let me text this guy, let me audition for this. I think it was probably the longest audition process I've had for anything. There was a lot. There was like probably 5 or 6. No, about 12 self tapes I had to do
Really?
for this. Yeah, because you had me do 3 rounds of 3. Oh, that's 9, I guess.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't. That's why I do theater. I'm not good at math. So
I remember watching that.
Xander's
many-
out
many
here.
takes.
Xander's out here pretending that he's like fucking Marvel Studios casting the next Spider-Man. Like, I got 100 actors. I want you all to do 12 rounds
Yeah.
of auditions. We'll call you back later.
Well, Michael and Garrett always tell me, they're like, okay, well, you got to give them sides. You got to give them enough. So I was like, okay, well, let me give them a good amount. And with Draco, there's so much to his character that
Yeah.
I needed to see. I think the 3 ones that I gave you were pretty good aspects of
They
each
were.
one that I needed to see. So
yeah,
Mhm.
it was
Absolutely.
it was definitely like it was the most in what's the word? Oh my god. In depth
Mhm.
that I've ever like gone into in for just straight self tapes. By the second round I was like, I'm pretty sure I have this role. So
You just
because I feel like like if it's either I have the role or it's just like between me and one other guy if I've gotten this far. So
Sure.
and for the record,
Xander, now that the movie is done and made, yeah, I want to know for the record, like, how many were in consideration? And at that point, was there another actor, or did he just have it anyway?
I always feel bad for saying this because I never like to judge people on just appearances. I got
He's
a
the
lot-
only choice. Got it.
Exactly.
Essentially, but yeah, I got a lot of people reading for Draco, and I mean most of them didn't have the look I wanted, unfortunately. but also they just didn't really give me the acting I wanted. And Nathan was pretty much I really lucked out with Nathan. He was everything. He was everything I needed. I was like, this guy's perfect. There was someone else, but due to circumstances that I was told, in the consideration fact, he had to get taken out of the enemy, and then Nathan came over like some sort of archangel, and I was like, holy shit, this guy is insane.
Well, Nathan, you definitely did carry the Dracula-esque presence. I know you're not literally playing Dracula, but you have when you're in that role, and you're right, there's a lot of layers and like sides to that role. You sell it the way that you like your mannerisms and the way that you talk, but you're also kind of made for it. Like you're 10'20", I'm pretty sure.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it's something around that realm. But no, you're definitely fitting that role, just like with the vibe, the mannerisms, the presence, and of course the performance was just awesome. The way you delivered the lines was great. And Crystal, how did you get involved with this process for I guess what I'm asking here, like when you auditioned, did you read the script first, or did you like get pitched the script and then like you came into that role later? Or?
No, I think all I was told was like it's a vampire film.
Yeah, I made a I can send it to you, Jake. I made a basically just like a little poster saying like actors wanted, and then I would put that on my Instagram, and I actually have to praise Crystal because after I got her on board, she was like, "Hey, I could start promoting it as well," and so that's how it got on all those Discords and stuff. You know, Crystal and Aaron really helped out with getting exposure. But no, it was essentially like I'm like, okay, well, here's the list of characters that I need audition for any of them, and so it was just like a little blurb, like, oh, it's a therapist or something like this. And then I had the sides, which I think you had one thing to read.
No,
Yeah.
I had 3.
Oh, you had 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just gave her yeah, and then really it was just once I decided that I liked them, I would get on a voice call with them, and I'd be like, hey, so this is the idea, this is the story and stuff. And then with this script in particular, I didn't so much have to tell you because like you were pretty much tame with your character, but with Aaron and Nathan, I definitely was like, okay, I'm gonna have you read the full script, and you are 100% allowed to back out if you don't feel comfortable playing these characters.
I think you did the same to me.
I did
if I was uncomfortable with
okay.
Physical contact.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right, because there is a lot of physical contact in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have Nathan and Aaron specifically. I remember that. So if I did review, I was just like, read the full script. If you're uncomfortable with this, don't feel pressured to back out. I understand it's a pretty intense thing to have to do.
I was telling Xander in the recording we did prior to this that my favorite scene in the movie, because it keeps cutting back to those therapy scenes, my favorite scene was the therapy scene fake out, where your voice slowly becomes his voice. I thought that, I didn't see that twist coming, and I thought that was such like a satisfying, surreal way to do it. So you guys both did great in that scene, obviously.
Thank you. No, that was fun for me too.
So, yeah, good. I'm curious, and we can actually ask all three of you separately if you want. What was your favorite part filming, like this process?
Okay. Do you want to go first, Nathan?
Sure, I'll go first. So, I'm pretty big into fight choreography and stunts. So there's a scene where Ryan, Aaron's character, gets physically abused pretty bad. And that was just, it was the first time that I had choreographed a film. Because I asked Xander and I was like, hey, if you want, I can fight choreograph this. And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So that was the first time doing that. And he made it very easy because he already had all of the camera angles in mind. The storyboards were made, right?
I had the fight in my mind already.
Yeah, exactly.
So I knew exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, so it was just, I was just there to make sure it was done safely. And on the other side of that, the acting for it was very, very intense. But
it was, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron and I did a really good job of, really listening to each other, like mentally and physically about it, and that really helped. So while it was intense, I think it was really fun because I like fighting as an art form, and
me too
in general.
Yeah.
in real life on the streets.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite part.
What are you, Crystal?
Okay. um. Well, I liked the first time I met Nathan, it was filming the finale. So like I didn't even get to see him as a person. Like I had to see him full in costume. Like just pop up. So I
So
feel
it's
like,
easier to act then. You just turned around and were like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
I was terrified. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
No, I think it was like a new type of challenge for me to meet someone straight off the bat in character like that. Um, so I took that as a huge challenge, and I think that's my favorite part. But also, I got to help as crew.
Yeah, she's. I mean, you if you watch the credits, you can see that there's a lot of names that get doubled up. But Crystal did a lot. She did a lot. You haven't seen the credits yet, but and you know, I never asked you about this, Jake. But what did you think about the opening credit recreation? Did you like it?
I loved it. I felt like I was back watching 1931's Dracula in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So,
well,
hell yeah.
I made sure, Crystal, that you're on because on those title cards, like one of them, you're on the big one. You're on one of the big ones. So yeah, she was just insane. Really, she's really she didn't just earn her place as an actor. Like she just did insane as a crew member. Like there's a lot. So you can ask her more just on just set in general. Like she killed it. She really. I don't know what I would have done without her. Like there was times where she couldn't make it. And I was like, "Fuck, what do I do?"
Well, staying with the credits, actually, this is a question for you. I forgot to ask you in the other interview though. You sent me a version that just has like 2 or 3 minutes of just black screen at the end because it was an unfinished thing. Are you gonna have like traditional contemporary credits where like they scroll up the screen, or have you technically already done that at the start of the film? What do you want to do?
No, because there was a lot more things that I just because with the opening credit ones, I just focus on really just recreating the whole way each movie did it with their credits, and then I put end credits that just cover all my bases. And those ones I don't really like to do the scrolling just because it just is really hard. So I usually just tend to do like kind of like a fade kind of scroll thing. But yes, there is a traditional or a regular credits kind of thing at the end. So that will be.
I want to know, how did the costume come about?
I didn't get to answer what my favorite part was.
Yeah, what the hell? Please.
The end credits.
I mean, oh yeah, it's the end credits. No, it's so hard because there's so many different things and so many more different moments. There's one that I love that I don't want to spoil because I'm pretty sure this is going in the spoiler-free section, but
it is in the spoiler-free section.
Okay, yeah, so I won't say it. But the one other thing that just I loved was every time we got Nathan's hair all done up and he had the whole costume on and he had the cape on, and I just looked at him and I was like, you look so fucking cool. Like he just looked so cool. Like he looked like my just what I thought, and he looked awesome, and I was just like, this is so fucking cool. I have a guy in a cape as the vampire. And and he had the fangs in, and just it looked I was just giddy to see this character.
Well, that perfectly segues into my next question then. How did the costume come about? Whose idea was the fingerless gloves, right? That's the main points I want to go for.
That was all me costuming. My storyboard artist had given input as well. She really had a lot of ideas and stuff. And one of the biggest things was that I wanted him to look like he came straight out of the early 2000s and it just never left that era. And I really wanted to like show this sort of like kind of like mix where he's trying to be. It wasn't so much that I wanted him to be his own version of Dracula, but I wanted it to show that he was playing Dracula, but he just couldn't help but let himself come out in it. And that was why like I had like kind of like the fingerless gloves and stuff, because I just wanted like these small elements just to kind of show the way Draco was. And then the other big thing, of course, was that I wanted him so badly to have the Bela Lugosi cape. I needed him to have that damn cape.
I would have been disappointed if they didn't have the fucking cape. It looks so cool.
Mikey fought me
I love
on it. He was like, "Don't do the stupid cape. Don't do the
Of
stupid
course,
cape."
Mickey fought you.
And I'm like, it has to have the cape. And it looks so well. And I just, every time it's on screen and he's wearing it and the collar and there's the, I'm like, fuck yeah, I did it. I did it.
It's so expressive. And actually, it does kind of line up with, and we didn't actually talk about this in the other interview though, but like there are some homoerotic overtones.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
anyone want to comment on how that was
Really?
executed?
You're putting that lightly, man.
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement. I'm sure.
I said it mildly. You can say it as least mildly as you like.
Fully intentional. And fully.
But yeah. No, I was blown away at the, like I said, it's a jump up from the other two, and I enjoyed the other two that you've made, but this is my favorite so far. It's the biggest scale, it's got the most going on, and yeah, this is a pretty serious fucking project. Like, I hope you guys shop this around and get like a distributor for this, like you were talking about. Like, I hope that happens.
I'm trying to think for it, but it's hard to kind of like want to do that, because it's like, if I did get a distributor, I don't think I could keep it on YouTube anymore. And
yeah,
I just feel
they
like
care about that. Yeah,
me is my just even like even if I say I got a distributor and they let me keep everything in it, it still would like feel wrong to just be like, anyone who actually does watch me that I don't know or anything, and they just like watch and like look forward to it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. I don't know. It just feels disingenuous. I don't want to do that to anyone.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I definitely want to shop around at film festivals. Yeah.
So I'm going to safely assume that Xander has shown you guys 1931's Dracula prior to even rolling a single camera.
What?
No. Was that your first time watching that film, and what did you think about that in terms of like how it related to your performances?
I'll take this one, I guess. Well, Xander gave me a whole list of films to study. I said I would watch all of them, and then I watched the main three he wanted, and that was it. I completely forgot to do the rest.
Nice.
But it was my first time watching that movie in full. I had watched parts of it before. But I mean, watching the movie and thinking about my character in it, because I can't remember if that was before or after I had read the script for the first time. I think that was after. It was before we read it with Aaron, but it was after I read it for the first time. And I could really see how much, like, Bela Lugosi's performance really influenced the character. And influenced how the character moved, how he like presented himself to the outside world, and especially how he presented himself to Ryan. I think that was a very big. It was very obvious that it was everything bad about an obsession that you can have was like what Draco was looking at when he was looking at 1931 Dracula.
I totally see that. And how'd you feel watching it? Sorry, I didn't clarify who. I just looked at the camera as if that would mean anything at all. Crystal, how did you feel watching Dracula?
No, I think I was told to watch it after we got the script, so I read the script, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, that's what that reference is, and everything like that, because I don't think I fully understood that it was, like, based on, the original. So it was pretty cool to, like, connect the dots and everything like that, and just have more of an appreciation for the script. But yeah, also just to get like a sneak peek of, how weird Draco is gonna be. But yeah.
I think in many ways Draco is even more weirder than the actual Dracula in 1931's.
When I watched the movie, I really was like, wow, the guy writing the script really is just like ripping off everything. This fucking guy's a fanboy as hell.
He's original.
Yeah. God, vampires? Really? No.
I know. What a loser. God. But yeah. I'm just kind of taken by one of your comments, Nathan. I have to know, what were some of those movies that were recommended to you for this performance?
Oh God, that was a while ago. Well, obviously one of them was the original Dracula. The other one was Doctor Sleep, which was the sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the
It's a
sequel
very
to The Shining.
Xander-coded film, yes.
Yeah, I love that movie, and the reason why I said that one, not to cut you off, just to chime in.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I said when you watch Doctor Sleep, really pay attention to Rose the Hat and how she acts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, go on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he told me to really pay attention to that character, and I could definitely see why, because she's very, alluring and very feigning a lot of niceness or feigning a lot of kindness, I should say. Which is really kind of what Draco was trying to do to Ryan a lot of the time. I don't remember.
Was there another Dracula?
There was a third one. I know I watched it. I just don't remember.
American Psycho.
Right. Because I was analyzing Bateman's more
Exactly.
sinister mindset.
And then the list I gave you was just a list of Universal Monster movies just to watch. And that was mostly just if you really, really wanted to get into the character of Draco, because obviously Draco would have watched all of them and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was just more like if you really wanted to, but it wasn't necessary.
I think I watched all the ones that were mentioned in the script.
Okay.
But any of the others I didn't.
Nice. Okay.
So you watched Last Voyage of the Demeter, Dracula Untold, and Twilight?
Well, I already watched Twilight. I watched the Lost Boys as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were a couple others.
I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
But yeah. So.
Wow, that is a hell of a way to go. And first of all, I just want to point out that regardless if you're acting in a movie or not, people should just watch American Psycho at least once in their lives.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great
I'd
movie.
watched it
It's got a lot to
before,
say.
But I watched it again for the role.
Yeah, no, it's a really good movie,
It is.
honestly. I remember growing up, I thought it was going to be like this really bloody, insane film, but it's not as bloody as you'd think, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's such an amazing. I've been hearing about Cold Embrace for well over a year now, and here I am thinking like, okay, well, Xander's back to his usual grind. I'm excited to see what it turns out, but we'll just see. We'll see what it becomes. And I said at the start of this interview, I really mean it. It's the best one he's done. I feel like he's grown as a filmmaker, and I'm just so excited to see what, if any, project he does next in the future. Because if this is the step up from this, I can't wait to see what's next. This is a very impressive thing. Thank you both for starring in this film. You'll have to thank the actor who played Ryan for me. Is it Aaron?
Yeah.
Because he's not here right now. But thank all of you for being part of this. And yeah, thank you so much. This is an amazing fucking movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say this film would be nothing without these two. And the rest of my casting crew, all of them, it literally would be nothing. And they really did put these two especially and Aaron. They all really just like they dedicated themselves to my stupid little project, and I'm really grateful to have them. And hopefully they'll return. They'll have time to return for stuff. In future, because I want them to be on set and stuff for helping out with the future films and such like that.
Hell yeah. Oh, future films. I guess we should at least touch on this point before we wrap up the interview. All right. Xander and I have talked off camera. I won't share a lot of things on recording right now about what he may or may not do at a later date. But would you guys be open to reprising your roles?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does that? How do you feel about that? Like, does that do you think it's gonna further their characters? Do you think it's gonna is it just a cameo? And I'm not asking specific details or anything, but how do you feel about the idea of coming back?
Jake's like, where's
if
the
you were
scoop?
to hypothetically do that. I'm dancing around the line is what I'm trying to talk about.
I think what Xander has in mind will definitely be a very interesting way to continue the characters.
Yes.
To put it broadly.
Second. But yeah.
All right, that's the perfect amount of telling you everything without telling you anything at all. So I like that for a response. All right, that's Cold Embrace. It is as of upload, it is out right now. Check it out. It is live on Emerald Quill Studios YouTube channel, and hopefully we're far enough in the future where Universal bought it. It's off the YouTube channel. It's now in theaters.
If
But no, check it
Universal
out.
bought it, I would want to recreate the films with a full budget and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Same cast for the record.
He's like,
Just-
forget you guys.
I'd never.
Universal's like, actually, we're casting Jake Gyllenhaal in the role of Miranda the therapist. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd let him.
But yeah, all right. Thank you guys for joining me, and can't wait to see what you guys do next, if any, which I'm not going to talk about in detail.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.